Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Speak, Film, and Enter, a podcast where we review and rank movies. I'm Nate.
And I'm Dylan.
And I am Adam.
And today we've got our first list in a very long time. I was looking here at kind of what we've got saved. I don't think we've done one since February when we did our top 5 movie couples.
Wow.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
That is a
we
long
used
time.
to do, we went through a stretch there. We were doing like a list a month. And back when we started this in 2019, we were doing a list like
per episode sometimes.
Per episode back when
Yeah.
we used to do like 3 or 4 reviews and then something in the like a list in the second half.
Back when our episodes were an hour and a half long.
To be fair,
No,
they were actually more efficient back then as well, because we'd just do like 5 to 10 minutes on one movie and then move on.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Now we dedicate 30 to 45 minutes to some movies if they're interesting enough. But today, it's August. The summer blockbusters are over. We still got a few weeks until some more interesting stuff starts hitting theaters and streaming. So this, we thought, would be the perfect time to do our top 5 movies of the first half of 2023. A lot of sites and YouTubers, podcasters will put out these lists at the end of June or beginning of July when the official midway point of the year hits. But we kind of feel like let's wait until all the summer movies are all out. There's not a lot coming out in August anyway. Mm-hmm. And I think this was also, Dylan, one of our first episodes back when we started this podcast in 2019, because we started doing this in August of 2019. And we wanted to find a way to say like, hey, we're doing all the new stuff now, but these are the movies from earlier in the year that we saw that we really liked. So it just kind of has become a tradition to do this in August and
harken back to the roots.
Exactly.
And that mid-year review that year had some bangers on it.
It did. Booksmart and Endgame had come out already, and I think Midsummer as well. Mm-hmm. So there were a lot of really good movies in the first half of 2019. Mm-hmm. I'm curious because I think we're going to see more overlap here than we normally do, especially on a mid-year list.
I feel that way too. I think there's going to be a lot quicker mid-year list than usual, just because I feel like there's like 7 movies that I can see any of you putting, like either one of you putting on. So
yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe a surprise will be in there. Maybe it'll be the order will be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be a little interesting, but I think we're going to see a lot of overlap, and we're going to try really hard to get this in under 20 minutes. We're really bad at every time somebody says one movie, everybody talks, and it takes like 3 minutes per choice for everybody.
That's what's fun.
It is fun, but try to be a little more efficient here. So I guess I'll kick things off.
Kick it off.
That's cool with you guys.
It is.
So
cool.
My top 5 of 2023, starting at number 5. The only movie on the list that I saw at the Minneapolis St. Paul International Film Festival, and that is a movie from Spain called The Beasts, which is just a sort of down-to-earth, real-life thriller with just phenomenal acting. This is based on a true story about an older couple that moves to Spain from France for their retirement, and then there's kind of a commune going on in this sort of mountain village where they're living, where a lot of the locals want to sell their land to this company that wants to build solar panels.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But they have been dreaming of moving to this idyllic village for a long time, and they vote no. And it angers some of the locals because these two are they're not like super wealthy, but they're more well-off retirees, whereas some of the locals are just like really poor farmers who just want to cash in.
This sounds kind of like the movie from the 80s about the 2 British guys who try to get approval from the locals for oil.
Local Hero?
Yeah, Local Hero.
I still haven't seen that. I bought the Criterion copy though, but The Beasts was easily my favorite movie of the film festival, and I think it's slowly been trickling out to smaller theaters the last few weeks or so. So maybe it'll show up here or wherever you are if you're watching, and hopefully it'll be available on streaming soon because I think you guys would really like it.
All right, sounds good.
And then number 4, I'm kind of getting it. That was really my only like sort of surprise indie pick. The rest of these are number 4. I've got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Stunning visuals, really fun story. I didn't like it quite as much as the first one, largely just because it is a part 1
Mhm.
It doesn't
Yeah.
really have an ending. And because the first one just was such a surprise,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, really good movie. We do have a review for that as well if you want to go check that out. But
Mhm.
number 4 for me, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Nice.
And The Beasts and Spider-Man, I both had as 4 stars. And then these next 3 movies are my 3 4.5 star movies. No 5s from this year yet.
Okay.
Number 3 for me is Oppenheimer.
Nice.
Very conflicting feelings about Christopher Nolan's movies generally, but these Oppenheimer and Dunkirk just do historical stuff, man. I think they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's one of the best doing them right now. This movie's amazing. It's 3 hours and it flies by. I've thought of seeing it again in the theater like 4 different times, and I just haven't gone yet because of the length.
Yep.
But man, I just really love this one. And I know that last hour can kind of become a hit or miss thing for some people, but after taking 5-10 minutes to adjust to it and realizing what they were doing, I really enjoyed that as well. And I think I'd like it even more on a second viewing.
I will say I did see it the second time in theaters, and it hits better the second time around.
Just because you know what to expect.
Yeah, you know it's coming, you know it's going, and it fits better.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Number 2, Past Lives from Celine Song, her directorial debut. Just a beautiful story. It looks great. The acting is wonderful, and it's just a smart romantic story about 3 intelligent adults, and nobody does anything really dumb. Nobody does anything to sabotage. It's just kind of they're in this. These 3 characters are sort of in this situation that just kind of presents itself, and there are conflicting feelings going on in multiple directions, but they all handle it maturely. And just the way that it explores kind of their immigrant story along with this love triangle. It's just a beautiful movie and just another gem from A24. And then my number 1 movie of the year, I've seen it 4 times, and it is Asteroid City from Wes Anderson. I am just so happy that I loved this so much because not that I disliked, I like French Dispatch and I like Isle of Dogs quite a bit, but this was the first time since Grand Budapest Hotel, I think, that a Wes Anderson movie just really grabbed me as much as it did, and it got better. Again, like I say, for me, all of his movies get better each time I watch them, and this one just fits so comfortably into the top tier of his catalog, just with Grand Budapest Hotel and Moonrise Kingdom, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Rushmore. I think this fits right there with all those. So Asteroid City at number 1.
Nice. A good choice. List.
That's a good list, and I think you were right about a fair amount of overlap. So I'll go next.
Dylan, on to you.
Yep. At number 5, I have Barbie.
Nice.
Wonderfully fun theater experience. Had a great time. Lots of laughs. It was just a really great time. Colorful, fast paced. I really liked it. Recommend it for pretty much anybody. Just give it a chance. It's a fun time. Greta Gerwig, Noah Baumbach, nailing it. Number 4, I have Oppenheimer. Just a hair above.
He hates it.
I still need to see it again. I have plans to see it a second time, and the last hour has definitely sat better with me. The further I got away from it, the more I watched some documentaries about the Manhattan Project and Oppenheimer. It just it fits really well. It's really well done. I think it's just polarizing because a lot of people don't see it coming really. At number 3, I have your favorite movie, Nate, Asteroid City. Wes Anderson strikes again. I still have only seen it once. Might rewatch it tonight. But really smart, different. There's certain moments in it that are like all-time Wes Anderson moments for me. Just very interesting. What else can you say? He did it again. Yeah. Amazing cast. Number 2, I have Past Lives. Just a beautiful, honest, mature movie that has really made me think. And it's like thought-provoking with how real it is.
Absolutely.
Wonderfully acted. Would recommend it for anybody. And the further I get away from it, the more appreciation I have for it. And then my number 1 is a movie that I rewatched just recently for the first time, and it cemented its number 1 status of the year, and that is Across the Spider-Verse. Absolutely love the first one. Totally had a great time seeing it in basically IMAX in theaters, blown away, and then saw it again just last night or 2 nights ago. And it still holds up. It's funny. It's really the only thing that holds it back from a full 5-star for me is that with that animation style, when things are going so fast and it's so crazy, there reaches a certain point in some sequences where you kind of just lose track of what's going on. And I feel like the first one only reached that red line like a couple times, whereas this one reaches it a few more times. And so I can see it takes it to, just a little bit down. But that is my favorite movie of the year. Absolutely love that. Right up my alley. And as far as the star ratings go, Barbie at 4, Oppenheimer at 4, Asteroid City at 4, Past Lives, and Spider-Verse at 4.5.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So yeah, we had the exact same movies in the top 4 and then a different one at 5. And I'm curious to see if Adam has basically the same thing going on.
Almost entirely. I will say, I looked at my diary or my films on Letterboxd to get an idea of what I had, and I cross-referenced
films too.
Yeah, and then I cross-referenced between what you guys had and realized I had missed logging a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have a score for Past Lives. I didn't have a score for Mission Impossible, and I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go back. So
I caught some of those myself too.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit,
Dungeons and Dragons. I was like, whoops.
I just looked on it. It was like number 1 activity, like Dylan Watson. So my top 5. Number 5 this year was Blackberry, which is my surprise pick. This is a 4-star movie for me. I just really loved everything about it. I loved the kind of the biopic of a company, and I thought Glenn Howerton did a fantastic job. I thought Jay Baruchel was fantastic. It was a really interesting like rise and fall from grace that I think more people need to see, and I think it was really, really good. Number 4, I had Past Lives, which was also a 4-star movie for me, so that made the cut. I know I liked it a little bit less than you guys, but clearly it's stuck around.
Yeah. 4 stars. You're saying it's a great movie. I
got to see it again. Because I really enjoyed it, but some parts of it I just didn't sit with right away. So I gotta get back into that zone and see how that fits. Because that's a movie that's right up my alley. So
I think for I remember you saying like there were a couple moments where you felt like I feel like I should be crying right now, and I'm just not quite there.
I just didn't hit the emotional hump, which is, I don't know. This is when was that released? Like April.
May, June, somewhere in there.
It's been a weird year, so
sure,
we'll see.
We're gonna try.
And then we'll move into my 4.5 territory. So number 3, I had Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, mainly because it's a part 1, and I think part 2 will be better, and that'll probably go up. But that is a 4.5-star movie for me. So it's just all 3 of these top 3 for me are basically interchangeable. But I will say number 2 is a definite Asteroid City. Again, I'm not going to beat a dead horse on all of these, but like loved it the first time I watched it. Fell in love with all the humor that's in it and some of the quirky like little looks that get shared. So I am in the middle of exploring some of his other films. Halfway through Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. So just checking on some other vibes that Wes Anderson has going. So getting more in touch with that. And then number 1 is Oppenheimer.
There we go.
I think it's pretty obvious that that's the best movie this year. Obviously, you guys have different choices, which I agree with, but fine. I think Oppenheimer does. I just think Oppenheimer does so much right, and I mean, Nolan's one of the biggest directors of this decade, probably last decade. He's just nailing everything that he puts out. So
I feel like each of our number 1s, we almost could have like guessed these before the year started for each of they fit each of us individually so well.
Agreed. I totally I would have put money on Oppenheimer for Nate for Adam and Asteroid City for Nate. I mean, I know you watched it 4 times now, so
I've kind of been tipping my hand slightly if people have been paying attention. But so we all had the exact same movies in different orders in the top 4, and then we each brought one other at number 5. But with that, here's a chance to maybe differentiate ourselves a little bit here. Some honorable mentions. I've got 4.
I can start and go back through the order.
Yeah, sure. Start with Adam and let's kick it back.
So Barbie, I think obviously that needs to be up here. It's making a ton of money. It's a great movie. Like Dylan mentioned, it's funny as hell and great theater experience. Then I had Mission Impossible and then Air. which also came out this year.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I had Mission Impossible and aired a 3.5, I believe, and Barbie at a 4 stars. So those are my 3.
Nice. Over to me, yeah, I'd say I'd probably just pick 3. At number 6 for me was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. I just had a really fun time with that. Brought me right back to like watching the cartoon version, and I just love animation style that's kind of Spider-Verse-esque. I just had a great time. Number 7 for me was Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Just well constructed, crazy action sequences. Again, it's a part 1, and I felt like there's times and kind of where it dragged, but in general, it's just really well made action movie. And then Dungeons and Dragons at number 8 for me, just one spot ahead of Blackberry. I did like Blackberry, but Dungeons and Dragons, man, didn't see that coming. Had a really good time, laughed a lot. Felt like after it was over, I'm like, yeah, if they made a couple more of these, I'd check them out. I'd watch
Absolutely.
I'd watch this gang get back together. And
Absolutely.
like, I'm totally down. So those would be my honorable mentions right there.
I should give Dungeons and Dragons another try because it
I
didn't quite click with me, but I'm willing to try it again, mostly just because I love Chris Pine.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I've got 4.
Okay.
My only other 4-star movie of the year so far is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, which is just a wonderful coming-of-age movie based off the very famous, popular Judy Blume book, starring Rachel McAdams and Abby Ryder-Fortson. Kathy Bates is also in there. That's just a very good movie. And then How to Blow Up a Pipeline, which, I mean, just tense, stunning at times. It wrapped up a little too neatly for me, given the nature of the story. But outside of that, it's just a thrill ride from beginning to end. So highly recommend that.
Mm-hmm.
And a Netflix movie comedy, They Cloned Tyrone, is just still think the funniest movie of the year.
Funniest movie of the year?
I think so, yeah.
Funnier than Asteroid City.
Well, no, not no, never mind.
Funnier than Barbie? Like
as funny as Barbie?
Yeah, for sure.
Damn.
Okay.
I'd say outside of Asteroid City, the funniest dialogue of the year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
And great performances. It's just a blast, and it's sitting right there on Netflix right now. And then the other one for me, French movie called Other People's Children, which probably would have been my number 5 had it not had a really stupid epilogue.
You told me of the.
But it just kind of explores a story that I've never really seen before about a woman who starts dating a man who's divorced, who has a daughter, and the daughter's mom and her parents are all still around kind of, and she's just sort of like pushed her way into this world that they have. Because she's starting to get to the point where like her doctor tells her, if you're going to have kids, you need to have kids in like the next year, or you're probably not going to be able to have them. And so she kind of latches onto this family, and it's all from her perspective about, does she feel like she belongs there, and kind of how the relationships go with those people. It's just a really beautiful movie with just kind of a dumb last 3 minutes, basically. But I'll definitely watch that again at some point. So those were my honorable mentions.
Nice. I think those are all some solid lists, some solid choices.
We did it.
Nice.
Under 20 minutes.
We absolutely did it. And then just real quick, what's your least favorite movie of the year so far? I think mine's Quantumania.
I could enrage Adam right now.
I know what you're going to say. I know what yours is. I guessed it.
Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Okay. I'm Cocaine Bear.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I would have thought you would have revived with that a little more. The Flash is a close runner-up for me, but yeah, Quantum.
If I had John seen The Flash, maybe, but
I
actually was, when I was re-going through and looking at double checking what everybody had and what movies came out this year. I was going through yours, Nate, and I was like, yes, that's right. 1 star, John Wick 4. So I clicked on your review, and I was like, it's just basically like society's in shambles. I can't believe this is what, like, a dog peed on somebody and the whole theater laughed. We're doomed.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that's how I felt about John Wick Chapter 4, and I stand by it.
Listen, number 1 is still the best John Wick, hands down. Number 2 is a very close second, and 3 and 4 are just
guys. We're gonna kill our under 20-minute goal here.
No, we won't. We got 20 seconds.
All right, whose turn is to put a wrap on the show?
It is my turn, and I've got a quote.
All right, take it away, Nate.
I'm in no hurry. I like the desert. I like aliens.